Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to do an updated male grooming man makeup kind of routine. I've done 2 videos of them previously, and throughout the years you just develop new skills, you are experience things that you're like, okay, I need to tweak a little bit here and there. And I wanted to share that with you today. Also, it's a great look if you just want to look like flawless but not really made up, even if you're a woman. So this might be a really nice everyday kind of like situation, quick and easy out of the door. So if you want to know how to achieve that, stay tuned. Now let's start with the skin. Now the best looking makeup starts with the best looking skin. That's like one of always my mantra. Like you cannot achieve good looking makeup on not well taken care of skin. So please go ahead and exfoliate, use your moisturizers, whatever you have. Now today, to make it quick, I'm just using this little combination here. I love Lightful C. It has a lot of vitamin C inside, so it's good for any kind of discolorations, sunspots, age spots. It will lift them a little bit and then also gives you just a lot of hydration. So I'm using softening lotion and the Vibrancy eye cream. And the softening lotion is really what it does make your skin just so much softer. I know this is a fan favorite at like New York Fashion Week when all the models are super dehydrated from running around in the cold weather, and then also, you know, they get makeup done, taken off, makeup done, taken off. So this is a really nice, quick, wake me up kind of situation for the skin. And then the Vibrancy eye cream lifts a little bit of shadows underneath the eyes. So you just take it anywhere you have a little bit of like extra dryness. So I'm using it underneath my eyes, even a little bit around the nose, and anywhere you would have dry areas for the moment. And of course, if you have wondered, I washed my hands just now and used sanitizer, so please do so. Now next step would be primer. One of my personal favorites is Skin Base from MAC, but what I actually will do is use today something that's called a BB cream. BB cream is a beauty balm, so it has a primer inside, a moisturizer, and then on top of it, it has a little bit of a tint and an SPF, so it protects you from the sun, but also at the same time, it just gets rid of a couple of discolorations. Now, honestly, the way that I do it, it's really simple. I'm just taking a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm starting in areas where I have more discolorations, and that's where I start applying some of the BB cream. But again, this is not meant to be super heavy, and then you just massage it in. Now if you do have a little bit of beard area, now what you want to do is you take pretty much almost a clean finger and just blend it into the hairs. You want to be careful that you don't actually just put it onto the hairs, because that actually will accentuate and almost looks like a peach fuzz, and then you can really see that you wear makeup. Now after you are happy with how you blended it out, you do want to go in with something like a beauty blender. Now what it will do for you, it just takes away any kind of marks that might have like your fingerprints left on your skin, because again, you don't want it to be noticeable. Also, it will absorb excess product your skin is not taking. Now if you're super oily, what I would also recommend is take a tissue and just in areas where you usually get oily, just blot a little bit. Now what it will do for you is it takes away a little bit of that moisture, and then you don't get as shiny as quick. Now next, what you can do is go in with a concealer. Now you want to use a concealer that is very, very lightweight and coverage wise not really like a super opaque coverage, because you don't want it to be noticeable. So one of my personal favorites period for male grooming is Studio Fix Perfecting Stick. Now what I like about it, it's a cream, so it blends really nice with the BB cream, but also it's very, very natural. So all I do is I take a little bit right here where the shadow is. As you see, it's a little lighter, so just be careful. I personally like to go a little lighter to give me a little bit of brightness, but anywhere you would have any kind of like shadows and discolorations, go in with the concealer, and then you take your beauty blender and blend it in. Now you always want to finish up all cream items before you do set it with a little powder. Now one thing that I noticed on male grooming, it looks much more natural if you do cream bronzing rather than doing powder bronzing. Now for a light to medium skin tone, one of my personal favorites is the Soleil Tone de Chanel. And this one is an oldie but a goodie. Like, it is heavily loved. Now, the way that I like to apply it is again with my finger. So if it's your personal, obviously do it like that. If you are doing it on somebody, please be hygienic, scoop it out. But I do take a little bit on my finger, and then you want to place it on the high points. So a little bit on the top of your cheeks, above the brow. Other areas to do is a little bit down the bridge of the nose, and even on the chin. Now, I just applied it, and then you just kind of want to tap it in. And then you would go back with your beauty blender to just really perfect it and buff it in. Now when you look at my skin and see this side compared to this, you can definitely tell that I do have a little bit more color there, but it's not really noticeable. It's not like, oh, you're wearing bronzer, okay? So that's kind of like, try to just get a heck of on how strong you want to go with how much product and how much color. Lastly, for cream items on my skin, I want to go in with a little bit of luster drops. Now, luster drops are highlighters, so not everybody needs that. Like I would never do that for like somebody who goes in front of a camera, like an anchor or something like that. Like, don't do that. But if you just go on an everyday base, like you can do a little bit if you want to have a little bit of a soft glow. Now, you do want to go with something that is very natural. Do you see that shine? It's not really glittery. You don't want to have anything that is glittery. And then I just put it just on the high point again, on the cheek, to give me a soft, natural glow. Now, after you completed all the cream products, now it's going into some powders. I'm using mineral powder from MAC. It's my favorite, on a big fluffy brush. But you just want to have a natural powder. You don't want to have a powder foundation because you don't really want to have coverage. And all I do is I take it a little bit through the center, take away some of the shine, elongate the wear time, and it gives me a soft, a hint more coverage where I want it. Final product for the skin. We do want to contour softly. Now again, it's all about nuances, so you do want to use just a very soft, light amount. I'm using this one right here. This is Laguna from NARS. It's a bronzer, but you want to have on somebody with light to medium tone, you want to have something very, very cool toned, so almost ashy looking. And I use a very fine tip brush. This one is the Morphe M438. Now I go in where the hair ends, but then instead of like on a female, you would actually try to get a higher cheekbone. What you actually want to do is create more of an angular look that actually looks a little bit more masculine. So I'm going into kind of like a straight line down to the corner of the mouth, but then instead of going to the mouth where the eye starts, I slightly go down and give me a little bit more of a soft chiseled look. Now other areas to do a lot of soft contour is anywhere you have a little bit of a receiving hairline. What for me is the corners right here. And then you can even do a little bit on the jaw to give a little bit more angles to the face. Now again, if you feel you use too much, use a beauty blender and just buff it in. You can always, it's almost like your little eraser. Now let's go into the eyes. Now for the first, like one of the hardest things to do is male groomed brows, because they can look really quickly very drawn on. So the first thing I like to do, you can take a little soap, you can do a brow gel, but I don't like brow gel on men because it gives a little bit of a sheen to the brow. But this is an old product, it doesn't exist anymore, so I would just use soap, honestly. But this one is the clear brow finisher, so it's like a wax, and all I do with that is go into my brows, rub it back and forth because you want to get that product in there, and then you want to take a spoolie and brush it through, up and out, and it just lays your brows a little flat and grooms them and stay them like they stay in place much better. And if you already look at this brow compared to this, you can just see it looks a little bit more groomed already. Now the next step you can do is going with the Shape and Shade brow tint. Now you want to be careful with this. There's a powder side on one side. If you have really sparse brows, you can do that. Now I don't really need that, so I'm just going with the liquid side, and anywhere I see little gaps, I just go in with a little bit of that liquid and give me a little bit more flick of hair in there, but you want to have a very light hand. You don't need a lot of product. Very soft touches. And then make sure you go back with the spoolie and just brush through where you feel it looks a little bit too drawn on. Now, next step to the eyes is curl your lashes. It will really open your eyes. It will really make you look more awake and fresh instantly. So just take it, and this will take a little practice, but just go close to your eye, blink a couple of times so that you get the lashes in between the little pusher and the upper part. And then you just slowly close it. Make sure you don't pinch your eye. And then you just squeeze a couple of times. Go through the center, squeeze a couple of times, and to the tip. And then you can just repeat that until you have all the hairs go up in a nice curve. But you can already tell what it makes a difference for just opening the eye. Now, if you have blonde hairs on your lashes, or you just want a little bit more drama to the eye, a brown mascara is nice. This one is the Hot and Naughty, and this one I'm using, there's like two sides, but I'm using the softer one, and I'm just brushing through a couple of times. You don't really want to build up a lot of product. You just want to coat them so it gets every little hair to be more noticeable. You can do that on top and bottom. You're almost done. So lastly, let's take care of the lips. Honestly, lip care, that's all you need. You don't need really a colored makeup product. So I'm using the lip scrub first. The lip scrub, what it does for me, it takes away any dead skin. Now, after you scrub your lips with the exfoliator, you might find that you have a little bit of redness around the mouth. So just take your powder and press your lips together and just blot along the edges of your lips. And it just takes away a little bit of that redness. So lastly, now it's all about giving some moisture back to your lips. And there's two things that I personally love to use. It's either the Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream. Now this is a little bit more pricier, but it does just give you a really long-lasting moisture level to the lips. Now if you're on a budget, Carmex will do it. So let's just use Carmex today. And then you just take on your lips and just blend it in, give moisture. You can put that in your pocket and always reapply. And lastly, if you want, set it with some setting spray. It's not really necessary, honestly, with this kind of makeup, but sometimes it just also feels refreshing. And if you look a little bit too powdery, this will take care of making it look more natural again. Now this is the end of this video. Thank you again so much for watching today's video. It really means the world for me to be back here. And if you want to do me a favor, go ahead and share this video with your friends and family or any of my other videos. So I really rely on you to build up my audience again. And if you have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and then ring the little bell. The bell will notify you whenever I upload a new video so you don't miss out. Thank you again so much for being here, sticking around with me, and I will teach you more things in the coming videos, so I cannot wait for that. And until I see you then, have a wonderful day, be safe, and wash your hands. Bye-bye.